Morning everyone, welcome to today's maths lesson. We're going to be adding mixed numbers today. You're going to need your pencil, exercise book or maths worksheet on Seesaw or on paper. So the top tip from yesterday still applies to today's maths learning. We still need to make sure that wherever we can and wherever we need to, we make the denominators the same. This makes everything so much easier. So firstly, I'd like you to have a look at question 1. So there are different ways in which we can add mixed numbers together. Can you work out, before I explain, what Teddy has done and what Mo has done? It doesn't matter if you're not sure, but I would like you just to pause the video now before I go through it and see if you can spot it. Something slightly different, but they've got the same answer, which is correct. So first of all, Teddy. So the question is 3 1/4 add 2 5/8. So Teddy has added the two wholes together, first of all. So he's firstly added the 3 and the 2, which gave him 5. And then he's added the fractions. So 1/4 add 5/8. Now, because they've not got the same denominator, Teddy's firstly had to make 1/4 into 8ths, which is 2/8. I'm just going to change that into 2/8. And then he's got 7/8. So that was Teddy's method. Adding the wholes first, then adding the fractions, making the denominators the same as he went along. Then finally he adds the whole and the fraction together, so 5 add 7/8 to get his final answer. So what did Mo do? So Mo has done a slightly different method. Mo has made each of the fractions into improper fractions, or each of the mixed numbers into improper fractions first. So 3 1/4. 3 1/4 is the same as, let's just put it into quarters first. There's 4 quarters in each whole. So we've got 3 wholes and 1/4, and that is the same as 4, 8, 12, 13/8, 13 quarters, sorry. But then he's made those into 8ths, which is the same as, because we just do the same with equivalent fractions here, times in by 2, it's 26/8. So Mo has made 3 1/4 into 8ths as an improper fraction, and then he's done the same with the 2 5/8. So he's made that into an improper fraction. So let's just have a look. We've got our 8ths here, so we know there's 8/8 in a whole, 16/8 in 2 wholes, and then 5 more 8ths, which is 21/8. So then now he changed both those mixed numbers into improper fractions. He added them together and got 47/8 in total. And then finally he converted that back into a mixed number. So we know there's 8/8 in a whole, 16/8 in 2 wholes, 24/8 in 3, 32/8 in 4, 48 in 5, and then 7 more. So that would be the same as 5 wholes and 7/8. So slightly different methods there. Just think about which method you prefer. And for that question, just write your answer. The method that we've done at school before is Teddy's method. So I'm going to be using Teddy's method to work out the answer to this calculation where I'm adding mixed numbers. So the first thing that I'm going to do is add the wholes. The second thing I'm going to do is make the fractions have the same denominator. And the final thing I'm going to do is add the fractions. Then I will have my final answer. So look at this question that we've got here then. So 1 2/5 add 2 3/10. The first step is adding the wholes. So 1 add 2, which is 3. And then I'm going to do the fractions. So 2/5 add 3/10. So I'm going to make those fractions have the same denominator first of all. I can do that by making the denominator 10. 2/5 is the same as, let's have a look. I'm going to be multiplying my numerator and denominator by 2 here. 4/10. So now to change that into 4/10, they're the same, they're equivalent, equals 4/10 add 3/10 equals 7/10. And finally, the last step is just adding those two together. So that would be 3 and 7/10. You might prefer to use most method, but the method that we did use at school was the same as this. So add in the wholes, then add in the fractions, but making sure that you ensure they've got the same denominator first. Good luck. Okay, we're going to have a look at another one now where your answer may be a little bit more complicated. So let's have a look. The same method applies. So this time I've got 1 4/5 add 2 3/10. Same method, I'm going to add my wholes first. So 1 add 2 is 3. I'm going to make the 4/5 into tenths, which is now 8/10. And then add that to the 3/10. So 8/10 add 3/10 equals 11/10. So what we can see here is that we're going to have an improper fraction within our mixed number, which we do try to avoid. How can I avoid that? What do I need to do? The first thing I need to do is make my improper fraction into a mixed number. So 11/10 is the same as 1 whole and 1/10. And then finally I'm going to be doing 3 add 1 whole and 1/10, which is 4 and 1/10 as the final answer. So if you do add your fractions together and end up with an improper fraction, it's not incorrect to say 3 and 11/10, but it's not the best way of writing that. And really, with our improper fraction and mixed number knowledge, we should know, okay, I can change that into a mixed number and then add it to my whole. So please try to do that where that happens. So for this question, remembering that as we work out the perimeter of a shape, we just add all of the lengths together. So with this triangle here, we've got 3 different lengths. The method will be exactly the same. This becomes a calculation, which is 6 and 11/14, add 3 and 2/7, add 8 and 4/7. We'd add the wholes together first, make the fractions have the same denominator, and then add all of those together. If that then becomes a mixed number or an improper fraction, you might need to make it into a mixed number and then add it on to the whole.